It's k1llsen and Base coming up next. We are here at the Quake Pro League Week 4 in the second stage. My name is Zoot and I am joined by Lethal. We'll be moving into the next game in just a few moments. We have had some nutty series today. Does the dream have to end or can we keep getting nutty?
No, let's keep going nutty. Actually,
Yeah?
no, let's
go
just
full
go
Kashu.
full on. Yeah.
Let's go
Let's not muck around here. Let's get like
Brazil
2-1
nuts.
every single series. Yeah, that's
All
a good
of them.
comparison.
Well, we
All
had
of them.
we had full, yeah. I don't know where I'm going with it at all, but I want some more 2-1s and things like that because we've had a limitation of not many 16-point increases at all. It's just been 4s or 8s here and there, so it'll be very interesting to see how it's going to be affecting the global leaderboard at the end of the show as we're bordering on halfway through the second stage of this part of the Quake Pro League. But we've got some players to look at. We have got Base. Mr. Karate is here with us. This guy had a fantastic week 3, getting a great result versus Cypher. He's looking to, continue pressing on with that momentum. But he is going versus k1llsen, so what can he do with his insane defensive passive style, but which gets suddenly so eccentric when he turns up the heat? It is more so than anybody else in the Quake Pro League.
Again, you took the words right out of my mouth. Base played phenomenally against Cypher in that previous series last week. And I feel like he can do it again. He can build up momentum to going into future weeks, especially in this next match. But it is k1llsen after all, and we know how much trouble he can cause.
Well, actually, let me ask the question after, because we still got k1llsen to look at. But I'm then going to ask the question, if I remember the question. It's a big question. But yes, we've got k1llsen, who he won QuakeCon. He got his first QuakeCon in his career, and it was a magical moment for him. He got himself in top 4 over in Luca. This is a guy with optimized style, and he's got some of the best rails you're going to see on the market. This guy's got absolutely immaculate mechanical skills and full understanding of the game. If there's an efficiency that can be had, then you're going to see him behold it.
He's pretty much got the full package, hasn't he, in terms of everything he needs. All the ingredients to make a great duelist. And with Base, what can he do here? Can he continue momentum? Can k1llsen manage to shut him down? I'm sure he watched that series back and will be a little bit worried to a certain degree. But with k1llsen, I don't think he'll be affected too much. And like you mentioned earlier, if his rails are as strong as what you've seen in some of these replays, then my goodness, Base may have a little bit of trouble on his hands.
So let me ask the question. Can Base beat k1llsen?
We have to give him such difficult questions.
It was going to happen at some point. I maybe wouldn't have phrased it in that way, but can Base beat k1llsen?
I'm not sure. I think it might be a bit of a tall order. I think k1llsen will win, but it won't be a huge margin. I reckon he may edge it. It may even be a 3-map series.
I'm going to go for the big brick energy call here. Free brick. Base is going to win. I'm not even looked at the picks and maps. Base is going to win the series. He's going to win it 2-1.
Oh, so opposite predictions once again, yeah?
I
is that
don't
how
know.
it is,
It's in my heart. There's something in the air. There's something special about today with the games that we've been having. I just feel like we're getting something a bit crazy at the moment. And I think this would be a really big result as well for Base in his career as a professional dueler. Here's our picks and bans. We're starting with Ruins. Going into Blood Run will be the first Blood Run of the day. And then we are finishing on Awoken. See, we've got Visor versus Nyx, Ranger Eisen, and Athena and BJ. That's a very interesting map to end on. But yeah, it seems like very solid, straightforward picks from both of them up until Awoken, where Athena really does stand out. So I'm wondering what kind of secrets Base has got, because he really loves to play on that map. Blood Run, I mean, it's a CIS home map, but k1llsen, I don't know, adopted there or something. The guy, it runs in his veins as well. And I feel it. Base is doing it.
Okay. Well, you've chosen Base. We've heard that enough times.
Yeah.
It's definitely difficult. I feel like with the first map, it will go in Base's favour. But I think that might be it. I think it will, because with his defensive play and his positional... No, I think with k1llsen, Blood Run is one of his best maps.
Yeah,
I feel.
you're right.
So I feel like it will go to that 1-all tie and go into a map 3 again, like it was just the same as last time. Because Base, I feel like it feels it complements his style on Sarnif.
So you're still giving Base a map, though?
Oh, I'll give him a map.
I'm okay with that.
I'm being a nice guy here.
I don't mind being wrong if base is going to take down the map. That's absolutely fine. But I think, again, this style is going to be really interesting. Can base make his defense work early on, or is he going to switch his gears up a little bit and do something that k1llsen isn't expecting? Because if you don't know, base is one of the most... He's taken on styles of Cooler. He's transformed it to Dewey to, cubed. And then when he decides to, you know what, I need to suddenly change something so I can take advantage of my control, he'll snap and he'll turn into sort of this toxic, Avek-esque type of aggression, which is very difficult to hold back. But just expect k1llsen to probably eat a lot of defensive rockets from him.
That wouldn't be too much of a surprise. We were going into map number 1 to see if base can come out the gate strong on his map pick, or k1llsen has something to say about it here.
Yep, let's do it. k1llsen up first. LG, Rail, very standard off the beginning, and a quick snap. Rail almost gets the follow-up. And base already has to be very careful. He's got no extra armor in the tanks, but what are these rail shots that k1llsen's finding at the moment? Just holding down that zoom forever.
And even at close range, his confidence with the rail is ridiculous here. And you can see now, just waiting to make the first move, and look at that again, another nice rail. Base already behind within the first minute, but there wasn't so much he could do. Again, another one. Will he get another one? Just barely misses that second. But so far, k1llsen will get that mega and wait for that other opportunity, which may alert. Now gets that first rail again. Will he get this? Gets the second one. He's going to see if he can try and finish him off. But look how much HP base has right now. Literally, and he finishes him off again. k1llsen.
You have got other weapons, k1llsen. There are other weapons on the map, okay? It doesn't really matter because he's destroying base of the rail at the moment. You still have got other weapons.
Oh my goodness. And now base is going to have to transition to a style he's not comfortable with here.
Production, would you mind pressing or holding tab for a second? I just want to actually see if he's only fired the rail. 9 of 12. Oh, he's fired a rocket, guys! He's fired the rocket now. He's going to find him with the rocket. LG on this instance, 3-0. Thanks, production.
Well, I did say base was going to take the first map. Well, my prediction's still there with k1llsen hopefully taking the series, but my word.
What a start.
What a way to start things off here. Absolutely.
Stopwatch.
And he might rocket jump up to actually get himself the next. A little wall jump up towards the mega health, and 7 seconds now between the items.
But I love this now. Patience from k1llsen. His transition to a little bit over to more base's style, but base isn't really too happy about it. Stack isn't the greatest. I love what k1llsen's doing here. He's going to see if he can catch base off guard, but base way more of an experience, knows that, and will be pushed back that little bit more.
Base has kind of got to find a way to get in the way of k1llsen. He does that successfully and doesn't take the damage afterwards. That's the most important. Taking the mega is one step, but it's making sure you retain it when leaving that position. That can be the tricky aspect. And he's now found an extra 50 armor. So base is starting to actually get in the map now. He's been alive for at least a minute. And he'll have the weapons. But it's very difficult to challenge on that heavy.
Manages to get the heavy anyway. Hasn't really got many rockets left, but in all fairness, with his rail, why would I be too surprised from here? Just trying to pick one off there, he doesn't. But lost a little bit of map control, but he's going to try and change that if he can. But base's stack is very healthy as you try and push in, but decides not to. Decides to play a little bit more patient. Got plenty of time. Misses another rail. Definitely like what we saw before, but will he be able to take him down anyway? He's going to see if he can hide away. Managed to get another rail on the board. Base. Will he be able to find an answer? Will he be able to get that rail here? Even if he does, he's only going to be on a slimmer of health as he gets that heavy, but
nice.
Very, very lucky man.
Base hasn't done too badly at all, actually. Is he going to find his way up to Mega? He does in time. k1llsen hasn't got the shot. And he's got no Ghost Walk still, so this is a good opportunity for Base if he can close the gap a little bit. Whether he has that weaponry to make the action happen. As k1llsen, you can see, has got a much more sort of defensive posture about him. The Base is going to be super stacked. The thing is, now, he's going to have to deal with Ghost Walk in a moment. Oh my god, rocket to rail, almost a follow-up rail shot afterwards. Base finally connecting with something, but the Ghost Walk has now returned. We'll be able to use that time. Base is weak, and it will get over towards the mega health.
How did k1llsen come out with that on top? That was unheard of. Base does manage to get that mega to help himself a little bit further going into going forward. But k1llsen now. What can he do here? As a stack is not in his favour, but from what I've seen so far, it doesn't even matter what stack Base has. Base just can't find an answer to k1llsen's playstyle.
Base isn't hitting quite as hard as k1llsen was, especially not right at the beginning where we saw just 7 rails strung together insanely. But Base's stack, he's got the piercing sight. We haven't heard it being used from k1llsen's point of view, but you'll see on the character portrait when that tick's disappeared, we know that it was used beforehand.
I love that great game sense from k1llsen. He knew he was going to go straight up Vez, learnt his routes going forward. Still trying to pick him up a little bit. Stacks are still very similar. Let's see if he can chase him down or at least have some kind of positional advantage. But Base, again with that Mega, keeping that pickup control nicely. But then again, k1llsen's defensive posture has been very good.
Base might know that he's actually used that Ghost Walk. So I think he had the piercing sight up at the same time. He bullies his way in towards the heavy room, gets the item. He actually rocket jumps up. Big rocket shot from Base, and he is going to find the follow-up. Base is on the board now. He gets the light armor. We might have a game on our hands at the moment, Lethal. Control has continued for the Russian player.
He definitely will, but Base is going to try and go for it anyway. We're going to finish him off. Yes, he does. Nice and easy. Second frag on the board. And you're absolutely right, so this is definitely going to be potentially the match of the ages, as you see there. k1llsen manages to barely stay alive once more, but what can k1llsen do here? Base has kept a phenomenal portion of the map control over the last 3 minutes. It can't seem to find a way to get him off these heavies, especially the heavies actually in particular.
Stopwatch.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to go against, and I like that Base has been really holding on to his ability, not just spamming it out for information all the time. He's got a nice little read. k1llsen avoids the rail shot. Here's piercing sight, so he knows if there's a chase happening, and he saw that Ghost Walk was used. So that's some very useful information for him. So I don't think he would have heard it otherwise, and he's just pushing right in with the lightning gun. Rocket's going to miss the mark. Hard rail angle to go for, and some hourglass denials too.
I like that risk there too. Base again with another Mega on board. Is he going to try and chase this down? He went for the attempts, but decided to try and go for that rail, but managed to take him down anyway and manages to tie things up. It took a bit of time as k1llsen was really feeling it going into this, but he's going to try and go for the fourth one.
Wow.
Yes, he does, and he's taken the lead.
Immense stuff from Base. You know what? It might have been an explosive start from k1llsen, but it has been a grind from Base. Is there another rail possibly? k1llsen left so low. There's going to be a couple of seconds now until the Mega Health, but k1llsen's pushed forward. He knows exactly where he is, so he's going to chase him. Can he find a rail shot in time? He looks to spam between the gap, but k1llsen now gets himself onto a major item. It's intensifying now on Ruins as k1llsen moves away a little bit of that control from Base, so there is a contest going on.
Props to k1llsen there. That was a huge, huge risk he took to
Definitely
see what was going on with that heavy. But now, what can you do now? Again, the heavy goes in favour of Base. Trying to sign out exactly where he is. Finds his location, but what can he do? Managed to get the Mega just to make matters worse for k1llsen. But look at the damage he's taken. k1llsen was at an incredible disadvantage. And Base still, not too sure how, but managed to stay alive once more.
Yeah, he ran out of rockets. If he had a rocket, he probably hits a direct rocket on k1llsen, or at least 80 damage. But he manages to escape, find a light armor. k1llsen's nearby. Base has got to get out of there. Heavy's just gone towards the German. We've got a minute and 45 left. This is very difficult now for Base to hold on to this. He's got to be exceptionally strong with some defensive rockets or rails, and he's got no rockets.
Base needs to be really careful here. He knows how good k1llsen's rail is, especially with the chip damage, but at this stage his stack is almost non-existent. He needs to decide exactly how he's going to take things forward over the next minute and a half, and k1llsen is absolutely gunning for him. He's trying to look for everywhere he could possibly be. Wow. And that's the first rail, so at least that's a bit of chip damage done. But saying that, k1llsen again another heavy. Stacked up again, but again another rail from Base.
Oh, what a read from Base! Has he got the follow-up? The rocket's going to land! What an amazing string of plays from him. Proactive with the piercing sight, hitting the rails to limit that control. He didn't see the Ghost Walk, but he could feel it in his veins. 50 seconds to go. What a play from base. I mean, an amazing play from k1llsen, honestly, because that absolutely could have worked, but the only counter there was to have a read as strong as what base had.
Yeah, the fault was there, and fair play to him. That was a big risk, and it could have definitely gone his way, but look at the LG from base, barely missing a shot. Absolutely lit up and is looking for that spawn, just barely misses that rail. If it did, would have added insult to injury once again. But what can k1llsen do here? Not very much. The clock is ticking. He knows he needs to force an engagement, but it's going to be too little too late here for k1llsen.
Yeah, base is just on the run a little bit, as he absolutely should be. Holding that high position, k1llsen can't close the gap, and now he can. It's, yeah, too little, too late. Base, you have been absolutely awesome this map. And unfortunately for k1llsen, beyond that first minute, he wasn't able to find the same levels of insanity that we saw of those rails. We just saw the grind from base coming in.
And what was it you said? 9 out of 12 rails was hit during that
Something
first
like that, wasn't it?
segment. Yeah, that's unheard of. Yeah, you sure got the height advantage and everything you need on the table.
It wasn't,
my goodness.
It wasn't just that, it was the fact that he hadn't actually used another weapon at that stage.
And it was that.
Also, Twitch chat, can we give it for the god tier calls actually we've got from Lethal? It's been absolutely insane. He's called the map here. You're saying though that k1llsen's going to come back into this, and I'm fearing your calls at the moment. I'm gonna copy everything you say from now on.
I'm still worried about the last map though. Like, this is the problem. If it will go to that, which it will anyway, no matter what. But k1llsen, at the end of the day, a great start from him. He shouldn't really feel too bad considering the circumstances. He did everything he could, trying to keep away from him, but the portion of map control in favour of base, he didn't really have too much damage dealt overall anyway, but it wasn't even necessary from the amount of work he'd done. So well played from him, and had some great rocks and rail shots from him anyway.
Definitely. And it was this moment over here. Maybe he heard it. There is a chance that he heard the Ghost Walk and felt that, well, he's got a minute to go. This might be his only chance to actually get into it. But the way that he executed those rockets, k1llsen could have been literally anywhere. And yet, just the way he delivers. Amazing.
Why is his map pick, I suppose.
Well, we've got Blood Run next, and there's no way base is going to be unhappy about playing that. He is more than happy to play Blood Run all day, every day, to the end of time. But, as he said already, k1llsen is so strong on this map at the same time. We should have, I hope, another belter like we've been having pretty much all day, and the one just happened between base and k1llsen. Let me have a look at the champions that we've got as well on my vast list of notes that have been printed out for me. Thanks, production. We've got Ranger. Oh, no, we haven't. Where's my notes? What's happening? It's all gone wrong.
Well, you almost had it, but the thing
I had it all. k1llsen and Ranger.
I was going to say, even with the champion picks anyway, you know, for k1llsen, this is definitely one of his better maps. You know, he's been very strong in the past and even in the current meta at this stage. And the map itself is the definition of, you know, suffocation, pressure, and keep him on spawn at all times. And k1llsen's very good at all three.
Yeah, no, he's amazing at that. And if we can get the sort of same level of rails that we had at the beginning of Ruins, who knows? He could be absolutely crushing base. But base, so rarely do I see it. Does he make a sort of undisciplined maneuver where he puts himself out of position for just a fraction of a second? I see that against the players like Wenger. It happens. If he's as disciplined as he can be, I find it very difficult to see k1llsen winning this. It could be down to just a single frag.
It could be, and to be fair, I wouldn't be too surprised here going forward. Going into map number 2, and to see if k1llsen can make some kind of comeback here, or if base will try and take another map on the board.
It's a little bit of game of chicken at the moment. Who's going to relinquish control first? Base doesn't quite get the rail off, and he has walked into a decent amount of damage. Wants to get over towards the light armor in time, but he's got orbed through. Well, it was a smart and right move to make, and he does find that the other light wasn't taken by k1llsen initially. So stacks have equalized a little bit. Base hasn't got the rockets, and k1llsen will have them. And k1llsen, he didn't start with the rail, but it's very likely he's picked it up by now.
Those tri-bolt plays earlier were unheard of. Again, base chipping at the damage once again. He knows that heavy's up. But will k1llsen... Don't think he's going to make the attempt for it, but he's going to see if he can get any damage done on the ball. But that was a great play there by base, just to make sure that he was very patient. Maybe let k1llsen go for it first, but k1llsen knew exactly what was up. And again, k1llsen for the amount of shots he's taken on a reasonably decent stack. But what will happen here? That was a great rocket. This should give Base the opportunity to try and push in. Barely misses that rail, just went through the portal. And now Mega all his for the taking.
It's actually kind of troubling for k1llsen. His stack's really not that good. I'd love to see a really aggressive push. It's going to be that with the orb. k1llsen ends up taking himself down. There is a turret hiding up there. But Base looking good at the beginning, sticking him into the negatives. Mid-air from k1llsen to come back. Base just neglecting everything for a moment. It's back to 0-0.
That neg one didn't really last too long, did it, Zoo? It lasted about, what, 10 seconds, so at least it's back to level
I'm
staggered.
staggered. I'm absolutely staggered because Base had such an advantage, and he goes into this rocket fight. It's there off the spawn. Yeah, that's the slight moment of lack of discipline we see from Base. It costs him an important kill, but at least no one has a lead for his sake, so that he can try and grind his way back in. And if we're anything like Runes, we know that Base is a hard grinder.
And it's not the first time Base has had a bigger stack and come out at the disadvantage, but 19 HP on k1llsen. This is very risky.
Wow.
Decides to go for it. Fair play for taking that risk. He wanted to go for that Mega straight afterwards, but it just wasn't to be. So Base, technically, properly in the lead now.
Officially certified by Lethal and Zoo in the lead. And he hasn't died immediately after. He's just going to push past it. He's got an orb to go if needed. Has to watch out. Whoa, there's a staggering amount of damage from k1llsen. I'm surprised he didn't go down then. There's a lot more aggression than I was expecting on Blood Run. They're holding those late angles. And being railable and going for those 1v1s, it's, yeah. Some risks are being taken at the moment.
There's been too many times k1llsen should have been killed on the spot and still managed to get away with murder there. It was unbelievable how many times. And he's probably thinking the same thing, how he hasn't been taken down in certain situations in numerous different scenarios. But nevertheless, k1llsen's going to see that as a slight weakness playing against Base here. But k1llsen with a reasonably better stack here, as both players are just playing it cool now, just waiting patiently as k1llsen will get that Mega to help himself forward. But will this engagement take place? No, it won't, as k1llsen backs off once more.
Yeah, Base could be playing the hyper defensive style at the moment. He is an expert at it on this map, and I think k1llsen knows that this next 6 minutes could be a big mental game. So he's going to be thinking about, okay, what kind of turret positions can I use that can trap him off his routes, say through teleporters, for instance. He's got to make sure that he retains that control while also being strategic with his ability. And now we've had 2 free rails from Base. Is he going to use this as leverage for a fight? I think he needs one more to make it a little bit more clear-cut. He might even orb and rocket out to get that heavy.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. He's going to try and attempt for it anyway. Doesn't rocket out, but does try and go for the rail anyway. But at least it helps him and give him a slight bit of lead way. But this is definitely more of a patient Blood Run map from what we've seen in previous weeks. But nonetheless, they're purely relying on those audio cues. Just miss that rail shot there from k1llsen. Base decides to back off. Rightly so. But managed to get that top control anyway.
We can see he's just standing still. As soon as he's picked up an object, it's like, is he pushing around this corner, or do I have a second to gauge what is happening?
5-minute warning.
If possible, production, if we could go to k1llsen, we could... Oh, just hold on a second. That thought, because he's pushing in right now. There's so many rockets and the orb at the end. Fantastic from Base. So I was thinking that k1llsen was going to be working for a long time to break into this defensive construct that Base had created, but he decided to just force his way in. Base is then allowed to open up those defensive rockets, which we see he's so good at using.
Yeah, k1llsen not having the best of times here, as Base will try and make an attempt for that heavy. Surely just delaying things as much as he can. He heard that Mega go off, so he's going to time it well with the heavy for future use and for future pickups as well. But does get taken down only slightly. But what's k1llsen's answer here? What kind of comeback is he going to make? He's still got plenty of time. Still got roughly 4 minutes on the clock. But it's going to be very difficult against a player like Base, where you mentioned earlier with his defensive style, it's going to be hard to break through.
Spotted, rail for a rail, 225 still up, and
Stopwatch.
he waits for the rail. He didn't even need the rocket at the end, but it doesn't matter. It does so little damage to you and your ranger. And that means he's got his extra resources to play with. And he's looking, and again, killing some more of that clock. Rail for a rail. It's not quite enough for k1llsen. He needs to be getting some free shots off. Turret's been found.
If he does get that first frag on the board and then go for the spawn kill afterwards, that will be his opening. That will be his chance to try and equalise things out. But like I mentioned earlier, time is ticking. Only 3 minutes left for k1llsen to try in any way, shape or form to figure out how to get round Base's style here.
It is a game of chess completely. I think it's defensive rockets. You just rely on Base to hit big damage like that when he needs it. We've had 2 big items taken by k1llsen. Base maybe in a little bit more trouble, but he's held onto the dire orb, so he has that burst damage potential, which makes it very difficult for k1llsen to explode around a corner. Those defensive rockets yet again. k1llsen's stack is so weak. There's the orb follow-up, and Base does it again. He can't get past this man. His rockets are not missing at the moment.
And his orbs has basically been his best friend throughout the entire series. It's helped him so much, but k1llsen now, he's in a predicament where he needs to force out the opportunities, and it's opportunities which he does not want to take, but will have no other choice with the amount of time left standing. So we'll have to see what k1llsen can do here going forward.
It's been such a reactive playstyle from Base. Oh, he actually misses a shot on that rare occasion. Looking for the collateral damage. Okay. He got distracted by the turret for a moment, so now he respawns. He has his ability, but he doesn't have all the weapons needed. k1llsen's feeling kind of good at the moment, so he's going to be looking for a way to chase as soon as possible and to catch him out while he's on his way to rockets now.
But will he though? He's trying to chase him down in any way. At least he managed to get 1 rail off. A lot of chip damage done to Base. But he's going to chase him down. Will Base expect this? Yes, he does. Gets that first rail on his side, and k1llsen can't fight again. But he's still got a little bit of time.
He wants to force him through the teleporter so that the turret can do a lot of damage, but Base isn't holding a position there. But he still knows he's on that side, so he's going to have to probably rocket jump up.
1 minute warning.
I think he heard him.
He definitely did, and that's where the chase will come in. Will he be able to pick him off? Base narrowly gets away, trying to do everything he can. The rocket just barely misses, but will he be able to finish it off? No, he doesn't! As he goes mid-air, the rocket barely missed. And surely that is the map, but
That's
we'll have to see now, as he's got 40 seconds left. It's going to be very difficult here.
k1llsen was so close with those rockets. He needed one of them to connect. It felt like they were just going past under the hairs on his feet.
Look at this, so Base is still keeping him on his toes. And even when k1llsen's walking, he knows exactly what's going on. Trying to stay in range of the audio cues to make sure he knows exactly where k1llsen's going. But look at the clock, it is ticking. 5 seconds left. That is about done and dusted. And Base, again, this time with map number 2.
He's only gone and done it, Lethal. That's the thing. He's actually taken the series. Now it's whether he can convert that to 16 points. Base has been playing at such a high level this series. He's been on the grind with it. k1llsen's been a little more impatient to kind of push past corners because he knows that Base is able to be so good defensively. But the Rockets have just been spot on. There cannot be a criticism from anyone just about how good Base's Rockets have been.
Yeah, his defensive Rockets especially were remarkable, and you knew exactly that with the amount of time left, there's only one way he's going to go. He's going to chase down eventually, but Base kept his cool, reset his mentality, make sure that in any way to try and keep him at bay, and he did. Even if his defensive rails, actually, with the amount of chip damage he was doing, I don't think k1llsen expected him to hit so much, but that was definitely one of the talking points. Even if he managed to get some of that chip damage done and out of the way, even then, if he didn't, k1llsen would have gone on for the frags left, right and centre.
Well, are we going to see our first 3-0 of the day? And it would, if this to happen, it would be in probably one of the most unexpected series that we've got available to us. Base has been, I mean, I'm wondering now, we're going to have to start counting how many maps he's been winning in a row if he is able to get the next one, because we are going over to Awoken next, I believe. It is going to be BJ versus Athena. Base is going to be on Athena. So it is going to be really interesting if he can get the better of k1llsen with this champion on a map like this that both players are so comfortable with. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be bowing down to Base shortly.
Well, you made the right prediction anyway.
You know what? I had
literally
nothing telling me to say that. It wasn't even a hunch. It was just, as I said, there was something in the air.
Yeah.
And sometimes you feel it. And there's one time in my 9 years of casting, I felt it, and it was right.
You definitely deserve a round of applause, though.
No, I don't. I really don't. It was pure fluke, and has never been more lucky in my life.
But Base as a player, though, you know, taking down Cypher last series last week 3-0, and now potentially taking k1llsen down 3-0.
That's a big step up as well, from going down from taking Cypher. Nothing against Cypher whatsoever, but he's not the most recent QuakeCon champion.
Yeah.
He did get top 4 like k1llsen did, of course, in Luca, but that consistency from k1llsen, and Base is tearing it apart. Can he do it again here on Awoken on our map 3 here in the Quake Pro League?
What can k1llsen do here to try and get a map back on the board? Trying quite a lot of things, the different transitions of styles, but Base has just been phenomenal. As soon as he gets that lead, and his defensive setups are just remarkable, and it's very hard to compete against, no matter what stack you're on. But k1llsen is definitely the man to try and get at least a map off him here.
Whoa. He kind of pre-looked that angle. Oh, wow. Never mind. It's going to be back to k1llsen of Ruins, and he's just going to hit those rails back to back, getting himself on the board.
This is exactly what he needed. He's got the heavy, he's got the stack required. This should be a slightly easy fight for k1llsen. He managed to finish him off. Yes, he does. Second frag on the board already in the first minute. Knows where Base is going straight away, and is going to try and follow suit and flank round.
Got that center map control. Athena can come in pretty damn fast, so being wary of those possibilities. But now heavy. His next port of call, and there's no drama for him. No fight, no threat, and that means he really wants to put on some pressure very shortly.
Seems to be the case. k1llsen does know exactly where he is, but how he's going to try and execute, that's going to be another story. But at least he gets him off that top center control. As Base had that for a significant amount of time. But again, k1llsen with the Mega, going to try and prep for that heavy if he can, or maybe bait it to make him go for it in the end. But at least he gets that rail off to do a considerable amount of chip damage. But Base, always after that top center control, and k1llsen struggles sometimes just to get him off it. This could be his opportunity though.
Wow.
But he drops down anyway.
A lot of damage from Base. He's equalized his stacks, and he's going to make the next rotation of control incredibly interesting. He's got the position on it, but k1llsen's starting to hit those rails. Tri-ball. He makes himself known, but Base is going to just fling his way out of there. Oh, rockets through the gap in the wall. A lot of damage, actually, from Base. Has got the health advantage, not necessarily the armor, though. And there's one more rail.
Should be able to survive one more round going into it, but he will go straight for that top center control anyway, and his stats is built up a little bit. Can he take the engagement on Base? I'm sure he can. You got to remember, Base has his L4, so as I say, they push it straight with the LG. Oh, barely manages to take him down. I thought potentially Base was going to take that one, but great LG there from k1llsen.
He literally came in swinging, but unfortunately he went down to some well-placed rockets. And Base now resetting on stack, needs armor, needs weapons. Well, more rockets like that will do him well. He has the rail to work with.
And this is pretty much a repeat of map 1. Just got to remember, k1llsen has got to not try and let go of the control too much here, as we saw earlier on, but he's learned his lessons, he knows what to do. But as I say that rail comes in, he's going to try and go for the second one. It's tempting, but then again, Base does have a slightly similar stack, so he's going to leave it be for now.
He got hit by a bit of damage. He's like, alright, I can't risk it yet. I can't let him get to 4-0. Base. No shots to offer then. Oh, gets the rail through the hole in the wall, actually. He's been really cheeky with that angle. We should have the passive that will help k1llsen up. Base now in a position where he's quite a threat. If he doesn't take damage before the next rotation and gets himself heavy, I'm actually starting to worry a little bit for k1llsen. He needs to find a rail to land before heavy's taken.
It seems like that's exactly what he's waiting for so far. And decides to go for that top center control anyway. See if base is there, but he is giving it up to go for that heavy. But at least k1llsen gets the mega, but the fight will be prepared, but it managed to get a little bit more damage off, but is he going to try and go for it? Barely misses that rail. Was after another one, but manages to get away again. The stack, not as big as it once was for base. And k1llsen now is, at least he's holding on to the lead.
He's definitely holding on. He has got no dual wheel to work with now, and the rail's just hit, so heavy, with plenty of time for base to get from heavy towards the mega health. This is really scary. Rail does land for k1llsen, but the tri-ball is going to be enough. Base is now on the board. Is the grind, is the clawing back into the game going to have a negative impact on k1llsen? There's the teleporter, slaying a little bit of a trap.
5-minute warning.
Wondering if he's going to come through again.
Could this be the comeback that base really desired throughout the course of that first half of the game? But
Stopwatch.
at least he's got the heavy now, so it'll give him a little bit of leadway. But look at this LG from base, almost taking him down. But k1llsen barely manages to survive, but base is after another engagement. He wants to try and go for it, and you can see k1llsen has just realised, but maybe k1llsen can actually win this one. Backs off anyway, only on 44 HP. Base was lucky to survive for another day there.
Yeah, that was close. Heavy's now quite difficult for him to take. And defending Mega might actually be difficult too. Well, he spotted where k1llsen's come from, so it's a bit of a possibility now. Rockets off.
Just barely missed it, which is such a shame. Base definitely needed that, so to speak.
Well, the thing is, now there's still 4 minutes to go, and even though Base hasn't got control anymore, at least he's brought the game back by 1. What's important is he doesn't give up a kill again, and he could get trapped in a second. This could get really nasty. Oh, k1llsen just moved a little bit away, and now there is a heavy available. He finds him, one direct rocket, can't hit the follow-up at all. He misses his hook. He's in a lot of trouble, and k1llsen finds the rocket shot.
That was so unfortunate, and you can see there, Base didn't really mean to go straight in face to face. But it's too little too late now, and with k1llsen, 2 more frags to his name. Adding more insult to injury here, and what can Base do?
Well, Base now, he needs to go into his own Terminator mode. He needs to get full control. He needs to pick up a clean kill, and he needs to find him off the spawn. And right now, Base hit an insane amount of damage just then. So if off the spawn he gets a good weapon, he can go in kind of aggressively, but he's got the rail, and this is very difficult for this playstyle. The rocket lands from k1llsen. He eliminates the threat. Back over to center map to see if he's after the rockets. And back over to Mega Health again to secure that control.
Looks like it might not be another 3-0 for Base actually wanted, but there's still a little bit of time left, but he needs to engage something quick. But k1llsen going straight in. Base able to fight for another day, but as I say, he's going straight in and manages to get the second frag on the board. And with now the pressure is on, k1llsen needs to be a little bit more careful. He's still got 2.5 minutes, but Base can definitely turn things around here.
Yeah, he can. It all depends how much damage in return k1llsen's able to do. There's no hooks available for Base. There will be in a second.
I think you saw there, he's trying to time that a little bit, but it doesn't matter anyway. Finds k1llsen, trying to get as much damage as he can done. Ooh. Oh, what a rail from him there. And 2 minutes left to get 4 more frags.
That's a lot of damage. It's a nice double jump. He hooked around the corner. He has dropped a little prematurely just then. He's going to find him in a second. He has got the heavy to work with. There's a world where Base can come back from this, but it is really, really hard for him. And he needs to manage these hooks a little more, just because if he can string together 1 or 2 hooks at a time, it's going to help him navigate those fights a little better.
But does he have the time for it though? This is the next question. But then again, k1llsen down once more. Full frag on the board for base. And he's just sort of trying to pin him, suffocate him, keep him on that spawn cycle as much as he can, but a little bit too late for that now. As base gets a little bit of a stack of his own, as he's going to try and find k1llsen. Realises he's gone over the top, he's going to try and chase after him. Nice LG shots there from him, but then again, a nice rail from k1llsen, keeping him at bay.
The heavy steal was really nice from k1llsen. What?
Oh, what was that?
What a rail! He's gonna hit another one! He's got hooks to work with! Oh my god, what are you trying to do to us, base? 45 seconds to go. Mega spawns. Oh, k1llsen comes through, the hook's not going to work, and that makes life so difficult for our B100 player. He's gonna find him. k1llsen trying to focus best he can. There's another rail shot, one more, and he can bring it within 2, but he's running out of time. Still going to try and chase. Up at the top, there's another rail shot, but it's 20 seconds left. He knows where he is off the spawn, and he's even hit him once.
Surely this is too late. Is he going to get that sick frag?
What?
No, he doesn't. k1llsen manages to stay alive, and that was the only opportunity base had to get some kind of comeback in this game. Remarkable stuff from him.
Massive GG's there. It's a 2-1 for base in the series overall. Fighting to the last second on Awoken, but k1llsen claws himself 4 points to add to that global leaderboard. Whew, I need to wipe myself down after that.
I need a fan, I think.
Yeah,
I think every single series today has just been unbelievable, but I'm surprised k1llsen didn't even fall off towards the end, just barely managed to stay on.
And base had to go up the bounce pad at the end, right? There was no choice. It's like, well, I'm walking into dual wield. He could have literally anything, machine gun or starting shotgun or whatever it was. You just got to force something. There's a world where maybe he forces a spawn with 12 seconds to go and to something ridiculous. It's possible, but you know, who knows? You've got to fight for it. You've got to give yourself those opportunities to find out. Yeah, congrats still to base. It's so impressive from him to be taking down k1llsen. He's going to be absolutely elated. The B100 guys are going to be elated. I know there's a lot of base fans out there as well who are going to be in a state of euphoria. He's played amazingly, but credit to k1llsen too for managing to at least stop the spree of success that base has had this series.
The way base has played in the last couple of weeks, I'm very excited to see how much of his potential he can push forward in the future weeks or in the future stages in general. The things he's been doing, he's made all the right moves, all the right decisions, and even on opposite players' map picks, he seems to be the same person the same time, every single time. And his defensive style, especially when he transitions across when he has the lead, it's almost impenetrable. It's like trying to find dents in the armor, you could, so to speak.
Yeah, his rockets have been just insane. And that was the moment there. k1llsen's like, desperate, please stop trying to run at me. I just need a second at least. Because k1llsen at that stage knows he's got to fight for his life, because down to that last spawn, anything goes. But yeah, again, congrats to base. We've got a couple of series left, and we've got what we consider to be a super highlight. We have got Razy versus Wenger coming up next, the two Maestro boys. I mean, the question's out there for you guys at home. Who is the best Maestro player? Is it Razy? Is it Wenger? Both two active streamers in the community. We're going to have a lot to talk about when we get back from the break. So, guys, we'll see you in a few moments.